Presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hey, welcome to our show. My God, this time it freaking worked. Okay, I cannot. Thank you, Erik. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you, whoever. Thank you, Archangel Mr. Radio. You for making it work finally. So I've got two people on the line right now. Our guest, and you guys, of course, know him, Jamin Olivencia. He's a pro wrestler, personal development ally, motivational speaker, you name it. But he will kick your ass into motivation. And we have our wonderful Michelle Gray from Canada, who's going to be channeling Erik and possibly giving her own input as well. So we were just talking about Christmas tradition and whether you guys, do it on open presents on Christmas, December 25th, or the day before. So here's what we do. On the 24th, Santa Claus comes in the middle of the night, and he puts the stockings out and the presents. Okay, and then in the morning on the 23rd at night, and then and the cookies and milk and all that stuff. And I always make some sort of old scroll. I put it in coffee so it looks all old, and then I burn the edges, and it has Santa Claus writing, you dear wee wonder, blah, blah. And then at the end it's signed Santa Claus, and I put this looks like alien language, so I tell them, hey, Santa's an alien, so get over it. And I put reindeer hay out for the reindeers, and then I have to remember to get up early enough to take it away. So, and I always take a bite of the cookie or whatever. And then the kids wake up on the 24th, all the presents on the tree, the stockings are hanging full of stuff, and they get to, take their stockings down and play with the stuff, but they cannot touch the presents. And during the day, we cook a typical Norwegian food. I won't get into it, but anyway, Papa wears his bunad, the costume, the dressy costume that's extremely old in Hallingdal, his valley. He looks so sharp. He's got this silver dagger in a silver sheath, and stuff on his belt. It's really, really cool. And so he's cooking because, he's great at cooking Norwegian food. And the kids are just agonizing. So at 6 o'clock sharp, everybody's at the table, dressed up fancy, relatively, and we eat. And then the kids are so excited. Oh, God, we're so stuffed. Why don't we wash the dishes first? Oh, let's go feed the sheep. I want to take a nap. Let's go around to the car and look at Christmas lights. Oh, no, please, ah. So we tortured them a little bit because it's required as parents and grandparents. But then we open the presents, and we don't just make a mad dash. I think this is probably why I like the way this is done in my life now compared to when I was growing up. When I was growing up, you get up on the 25th in the morning and you just tear the packages away. Now, what we do is there's one kid that picks a present and hands it to an older kid, and that kid reads from so-and-so to so-and-so. Give it to the kid. We take time to watch them open it and see their reaction, and then, on and on and on until, so it's very coordinated and calm, sort of. So, I like it that way because then it extends it. Instead of, 5 minutes, Christmas over with, I've been planning this whole thing for 20 years, please. And so, I suggest that you guys consider doing that instead of the free-for-all thing that I used to do when I was a kid. And, of course, you can always get wrap gag presents, okay? We always do that. So we save some UPS boxes, and we'll, put in, here's the deal, some old fake pearls that we always, wrap up and give to Christina or my eldest, or for some reason McIntyre, what's her name? Reba McIntyre CD. I don't know why, that's always there. But occasionally we put in the ashes of one of our pets, and that's kind of not nice, but it's funny. And so that's our Christmas, okay? And but anyway, enough said. I've taken y'all down a rabbit hole. What we're really for is today, Jamin, hi Jamin, will discuss a topic that should be very important to all of us, and it's definitely important to me because I'm not really good at this. How to engage with life in a more meaningful way, finding beauty in the mundane in order to create better paths to thinking. And then after a while, Erik will take questions from listeners, and Michelle will expertly channel him and add her own 2 cents from time to time. I will, for an aside, I will say that Erik, when he was really little, did have this appreciation for beauty. I remember we had Go Texan Day, and they made little, stick horses, and he would, lag behind everybody else and stop and squat down and look at the flower and caress the petals and be so amazed by it. Or he would see a woman and say, I love your hair. Your hair's so beautiful. So he did appreciate beauty. Anyway, but enough of me. I have no more intelligent things to say. I'm not sure are really intelligent to begin with, but Jalen, make us wiser than we are right now.
I don't know if I'll make you wiser, but I'll certainly, bring into the conversation unique ways to look at life in a more meaningful way. I think, one of the things we get caught up in so much is the way we think, and we get caught into our habitual thought patterns. I will say this, first and foremost, just thank you everyone for holding space for me today to allow me to speak my truth. This is not the answer, but this is a perspective. This is a perspective where we can all allow ourselves to grow. And Elisa, thank you so much for giving me the stage and allowing me to be myself. I want to thank Erik, Michelle. I just want to thank you guys for being here right now. As we all sit here right now, I think it's fair to say that Erik has brought us all together in a meaningful way, and everyone has their own unique experiences and ways that they came upon Erik, and I think that in itself is extraordinary and also is a great example of the magic that life continues to throw at us. So, when I think about engaging with life, and this really stems from childhood, Elisa, this stems from growing up in special ed classes, not being able to retain information, not being able to make friends. It was hell on earth for any kid. And I know there's a lot of people out there probably even listening who have kids that are in the same position, but I have good news for all of you. If we are all open to the idea that we are in relationship with everything around us, meaning nature, the chair that you're sitting on right now, the table you're looking at, even holding out your hand and wiggling your fingers. If we can all just take a moment and understand that this is a result of us. The only reason why I say that is because we're all here. We're all here now. And once again, I want to use Erik as an anchor to go back to the facts. The facts are Erik brought us all together, once again, in unique ways. Life has thrown us many different things to look at. And those things, whether good or bad, bring us to a position in life where we have a chance to grow. And the reason why I think, once again, finding different ways to look at life in a more meaningful way, it can come from is simply doing the dishes. And for example, everyone hates the dishes, correct, Elisa? Most people, they get,
no,
I don't want to do the dishes. Yeah, me too. I'm into it too. So why do you like it?
Passive meditation for me, but yeah.
Why do you like it again? I'm sorry.
I like it. It's passive meditation for me, like folding clothes or weeding the garden, things like that.
Precisely. Now I'll give you the other side of the coin. To the person that doesn't enjoy doing the dishes, how can we find life more interesting in even that? Well, here's a simple example, right? Maybe with the soap, you put a little smiley face with the soap on a plate and then wash it. You create new ways to look at the circumstance that's in front of you. And Michelle, we talked about this, we all talked about this before the show started. I said, oh man, we had to walk through snowstorms growing up. We were discussing that you would turn your back to the snow in order to avoid it more. And so, but, you know, school was 20 minutes away. So you got to figure out a way to have a good attitude within going through that snowstorm. And one of the ways I would do it is I would make these like mini deals with God. I'd say, hey, God, if I get through this snowstorm, will you help me pass my test? It's when you create these little missions for yourself within the context of what you're doing in that moment. You're creating a new way of thinking, and it's more creative, and it's not the typical, I got to walk to school in the snow.
I know.
It's not the typical, oh, shit, I got to do the dishes. It's recognizing that you are life. Looking at the trees around you. How many of you have stopped and looked at the bark of a tree etched with life's wisdom all over it? If you stare at the bark of a tree, it's just like you. And I think we can all agree that a tree is alive, correct?
Yeah, and we're all connected with the same energy. Or you could, hire a Chippendale and have him do your dishes for you while you watch and play sexy music. I'm kidding.
Absolutely. And so bring the Chippendales. I like that. I like that idea. But I like the idea of playing with what's in front of you, because the tree is alive. So if you walk up to another human being and you wish the human being well in its day, most likely you're going to get maybe a thank you, right? You're, oh, thank you. That was nice. Thank you. Or, hey, how are you? Good. I'm good. How are you? So what if we just took a moment in our day with all our stress and all the bullshit that surrounds us and went up to the tree and put our hand on the tree and wished it well in its day? Now, the tree is alive just like you. We've heard Erik say a million times, I believe he said this, that trees are like antennas. I couldn't agree more. They have so many attributes that put energy into this world that is healing. I would totally say that. So why couldn't it be, if we put our hand on a tree, that if we wish it well, it won't wish us well in our day? And so that's my point here. If you actually immerse yourself into the moment and being creative, it's not about whether the tree's giving you energy or not. It's about you understanding your capability to go beyond your thinking patterns every single day.
And basically connecting with life, basically, right? Is that what you're saying?
You're engaging with life, yeah. Absolutely.
What's
Absolutely.
Engaging and connecting. Engaging sounds like it's more interactive, that there's, more involved.
I think it's the
connecting.
Same. Yeah, Lisa. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off. I'm being rude, but. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm the one that cutting you off. But, I'm on my cell phone because stupid blog talk radio thing, direct connect doesn't work. But all right, so connecting is the same as engaging, and it's just basically semantics, right?
Words are funny, aren't they? Because it could mean a lot of things, but I think essentially overall what we're discussing is engaging. For me, as far as I can see, engaging is connecting. It's connecting with everything that's in front of you, and also there's an acceptance that comes with that. Our mind will tell us what we don't accept. Our mind will say, oh, shit, I got to get up. I got to go to work. I don't want to do this. You drink your coffee. Yes. Now you're associating a coffee with having to be up. So every time you have a coffee now, it's almost like you put your body in a state of wanting to be asleep or something, because you think you need the coffee for that reason versus just enjoying the taste of the coffee and really allowing that to be a part of the experience that you're in, and accepting that and maybe smiling. There's so many weird things you can do. So here's the thing. What I'm talking about is a little off the wall, and the reason why I love this subject so much is because it's doing something that people don't normally do. And I think whenever you do that, you create new pathways of thinking. And there's a plethora of ways you can do that. It doesn't have to be even what I'm suggesting with the tree or anything. But how many of you have walked around the block just getting some exercise, and instead of thinking about, I got to burn these calories, how about maybe you play a game with yourself, look at the cracks on the ground, and try to align your foot with the cracks for every step you take. Maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. But now you're taking the situation you're in and you're finding more of a fun thing to do in it. Because let's be honest, everything is mundane in some fashion. So you got to be creative. Yes. It's the only point you get, the only time you don't know what you're doing is when you stop looking at the situation as a whole and recognizing its beauty. That's the only time it's hard for you, is when you're thinking about something that really has nothing to do with right now.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting when you said that words are difficult, and you're right. But if you swap the words out for emotion, that gives you a bit more power, right? Can you speak to that?
If you swap the words with emotion, like enthusiasm.
You said that words are difficult. The semantics and connection versus engaging. So if you just forget the ABCs, the words that, you know, don't have different meanings for different people, but instead assign emotion to what's going on, then, you know, I think it would be easier to engage with things and with life and life forms.
Yeah, it's like choosing to be quiet for the day and not saying a word coming out of your mouth and see how your interactions go from there. Right? Like, yeah. But, you know, if you practice, if you said, you know, for 4 hours, even if I'm around people, and you let them know what you're doing, if you, whoever you're around, you let them know, hey, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut for the next 4 hours. See what you do and see how you think. You'll think actually differently. You'll start viewing things from a different filter. It's subtle. It's all very subtle. I mean, this is why people get drunk. This is why people take drugs. This is why they're all trying to hit these different states that I'm talking about. You'll hit these states, though, when you actually start looking at the circumstance with a different lens, because you're choosing – it's like you're choosing to open yourself up to the possibilities. You're actually showing yourself what you're capable of. I think that's something we often we kind of step back on things. We kind of say, oh, like, for example, I mentioned a tree, and someone's like, what the fuck's he talking about, a tree? Like, it's not about that. It has everything to do with, like, doing something that you don't think you're capable of doing and opening yourself to that. And then there lies the magic.
There we go. There is the magic. To say, Ivo, our mutual friend, I think he mentioned something about Erik telling him, or somebody telling him, to be, like, silent for a long time. I don't know if you know that, but I thought it was interesting. And why? Why the silence? Does it help us open up some space to reflect, self-reflect, or what?
Absolutely. You're not in a state of reaction. When you react, you'll start talking, right? You'll start, now you have to sit with your thoughts for a minute. And now you have to think. And here's the thing. When you think, you'll start to see how much you think. Like, how many times, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can agree with this out there. How many times have you made an assumption about something and then realized later, holy shit, I was way off?
Oh, many, many times. Many times.
So we're in a state of reaction.
To be silent. Go ahead. Say it again.
It does.
Yeah,
no, I was just saying it does.
People are uncomfortable with silence. I'm sorry. People are uncomfortable, some, not all, are uncomfortable with silence, and they feel like they have to fill that empty space because it's too awkward. Yeah. And it is. For me,
but it's such a good opportunity. Well, why is that?
I don't know. You tell me.
So,
I mean, why?
Well, now here's the beautiful thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, now we're talking about it, right? So right now, in this moment, we're talking about it. So we can be fair to you and say, hey, look, this wasn't up in conversation before. So, you know, I wasn't really thinking about that, and that's fine. The beauty is when you bring something to the table, everyone has a chance now. Now everyone gets a fair choice. Now it's a matter of you take the information that's been given to you, and once again, it's not about the information being right or wrong. It's you take what life is giving you, the actual circumstance, the thing you're experiencing, the thing that's in front of your eyes. You take what life's giving to you, and you make a choice to see how you want to interact moving forward. It's not that you have to be quiet every day and practice this and see what it does for you and what things can come out of it. It's actually, you know what, Elisa, tomorrow, just for like 2 hours, just give it a shot. Just for freaking fun. And if it doesn't work, it's cool. But make an attempt and see what kind of growth comes from you, because you're going to develop new pathways of thinking. It's just something you're not used to doing.
Yeah. You know what I think it is? First of all, I don't speak for everybody, but the awkward moment of silence, I feel like several things. It's very complicated, actually. First of all, I feel like I'm disappointing somebody because I need to entertain them, and whatever. But then another is like if you stay still too long, you might have to reflect on things that are uncomfortable and painful.
Yeah, and that's the best part.
So run, and so you don't, notice your pain. I don't know.
You're right. Yes, you're right. That's everything you're saying is me. That's what I'm trying to articulate here. Is that we're running so freaking hard every single day. It's the old cliche line, stop and smell the roses. But it's easy to say that. It's another thing to talk about how to actually put it into practice. And that's what I'm saying here. For anyone that's listening, I want you to try it. Just try doing something different. When you eat your cereal when you were a kid, I don't know if many of you did this, but I used to do it all the time. I used to pretend the cereal was like these little guys and I was the monster, and the spoon would swoop in to get them, and the little cereal guys go, no, and I go, yes, and I eat the cereal, and they're like, ah, and they die, and it's all fun and whatever, but that's interacting.
Jamin, you were a serial killer.
I may have been in many past lives. I'm not sure.
But yeah,
but
I agree.
It's creating something fun.
Yeah, you got to be playful instead of like having this blinders on and focusing on one goal or this goal or this goal. And Deepak Chopra said many times that you got to be okay with not just focusing on the end goal. That you need to focus on the journey, and that takes being comfortable with uncertainty so that you can stop and, like you said, smell the roses, notice different opportunities, and be playful about it,
And in essence, what that's doing is changing your attitude. In essence. Yeah. So it's like, how does this apply? How does this fix my life, Jamin? I don't understand why you're saying all this. What is this all doing? What this is all doing is putting you in a different state. So when you are next to your partner, or when you are next to an employee, or when you're running something and you are ready to usually fly off the handle on them, or whatever the case, you're thinking differently now. Yeah. Because you already did something that you weren't used to doing. You feel me?
Yeah, change things up.
Absolutely.
Have the synchrony here, because I was watching my daughter Christina Brawley, Bray. You need to check out her YouTube channel, especially my husband does my makeup because it's hilarious. Anyway, but Christina on her during Christmas she has Vlogmas, from December 1st on until Christmas each day, and it's really amazing. But today she was vlogging herself going through the line at McDonald's to pick up a Happy Meal for her 2-year-old little girl, my beautiful granddaughter Harper. And the guy was really just short with her, and she said to the camera, "I'm going to try something different. Let's see if we can change this guy's attitude." And so she went up to the window to pay or whatever, and she said, here's a little something extra for you. Merry Christmas. And oh my God, he completely melted. It changed. It transformed him.
Awesome.
Oh my God. Okay, I hope you have a good day. God bless you. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe it wasn't very much, but do something different, like Jamin says. I think it's super important. That changed the guy's, and that might mean that he changes other people's lives, and they change other people's lives, even if it's so simple.
We talk about raising vibration so much. Everyone says, how do I raise my vibration? These are practical steps to do that. When you help people, or when you don't even have to help, you just give something, acknowledge something. Even the clerk at the gas station, the person that's been there, who probably doesn't really dig it that much. And what does it hurt to go up to them and just say, hey, man, I just hope you have a fucking good day. Like, it doesn't even, you know what I mean? Like, it's something as simple as that. They either take it or they don't. But the energy, the presence that you're bringing to the moment is what counts in every second. Every fucking second counts. the presence you're bringing. So if you can imagine, if you go to the tree, a person, the grass, a flower, your chair, your picture frame, anything, and you just wish it well. Everything's nature. Everything comes from nature. Yeah. We're all under one umbrella here on Earth. So we can assume that by even giving something respect, we're raising vibration. And by the way, you're raising its vibration, and it's raising other vibrations. And it's the ripple effect, and it's exactly what you were just saying, Lisa. It's a ripple effect.
Yeah, you're so right. I couldn't have put it better myself. And you know what? Guess what? It's really easy to do. You just have to slap yourself in the ass and say, reset, what do you call it, to zap your pram. On the max flare, you have to just like totally shift your perspective and make very simple changes. If you have to put it on an index card with your to-do list, like I have to, we'll do it. Whatever it takes to wake up and say, I'm going to do something a little different today in order to engage in life and to help others engage in life.
Put it in simplest terms. Don't be fucking selfish. Go do something for something else. You know what I mean?
Or don't be numb. Or also don't be numb. Don't be a robot.
Yeah.
Don't go through the motions in life, because I think that's part of it, and that's part of the habit. And maybe it started because we were afraid to not be in this well-oiled path or whatever. Maybe that started that way, but now we're autonomous in life, and we're doing this what we consider safe and known.
Life is tough, but it's also very beautiful, and we can do that at any chance. We can choose to switch it at any chance, and that's where all the other stuff, it's all in the little stuff. The tapestry is built by you, piece by piece, brick by brick.
Yeah. Okay, so Jamin, can you briefly tell us, because a lot of people don't know the story, about how you and Erik met?
Yeah, I'd love to tell this story.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, this is I've always, so growing up, just to give people some context, I was born with spinal meningitis. Doctors said I was going to be mentally handicapped, yada, yada, yada. I actually believe being born with that, gave me some type of pathway, because I used to have out-of-body experiences all the time, still do. And I guess, Elisa, it's been 4 years now since I've known you. 4 years.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on a whim and say 4 years. So 3 or 4. But we'll say 4 years ago, I was going through a really tough time in my life, and I was having out-of-body experiences all the time. And at the time, I had this one particular out-of-body where I met Erik, and I didn't know this was Erik. I didn't know who he was, but what was odd to me was that he was a human in my experience. Now, I've had many out-of-body experiences over the years, never really interacted with humans per se. I would always see these like alien-looking things, these angel things that look like statues. I mean, a lot of incredible stuff, but nothing that looked like a human. And so I appear in this car. I'm in the back seat. He's in the front, and he's smoking a cigarette. And I just see the side of his face. I see his curly hair. He's wearing a hat. And he's like, all right, man, what do you want to know? And I start going off on all these things. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end, he's just basically, in conclusion, he goes, Lisa, it was beautiful. It's so cool to meet you guys. I'm sitting here right now with a ton of gratitude just as I'm telling the story, because this is like the magic I'm talking about. I see, so he tells me, he goes, dude, hey, look up channeling. And I'm like, channeling? I know what channeling is. And at the time, I'd seen some like Esther Hicks videos, some Bashar videos. So I'm like, how do you know what channel is? And he's like, yeah, look up channeling. So I wake up and I tell my roommate about the whole story. I'm like, dude, I know you're into my out-of-body experiences. I saw a human, and he's telling me to look up channeling. And all my roommate says to me at the time is, well, look up channeling. And I was like, I already know what it is. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, you should probably look it up. And so I kind of like blew it off. And then all of a sudden, that night on the computer, I'm like, I'm going to go check out what channeling is here. And so I type it into the box here, YouTube, and I type in channeling, and I get all these different things that come up. And so I'm watching one video, and then in the recommended videos to the bottom right-hand side of the corner, it says channeling Erik, and I see that picture of him, that iconic picture of Erik, and I was like, oh my God, I've seen that dude before. So I clicked on it, and it kind of brought me to you, Elisa, and I mean, the rest is history. You know, it's
That's such a cool story. I love it. It makes him so much more tangible to me. Yeah, it's magical. Yes, absolutely.
It's magical. I didn't know I was going to meet you guys. And then remember, Lisa, I contacted you and nothing happened for the first 6 months. And then all of a sudden you were looking for life coaches. And I'm sitting there one day reading one of your posts and I'm like, oh shit, I'm a life coach. Let me look into that. So, I got interviewed then by you guys, and then here it is. Now we're doing this all the time 4 years later. Yeah. And it's like one of those things that I can never shake. No matter all the experiences I've ever been through in my life has been extraordinary. And this is just one of those examples of how life will throw you interesting curveballs, and what you do with it and how you respond to it and your openness towards it will create more pathways of new adventures. And so here we are.
Yep. And that's right. And of course, I almost 99.999% I answer my emails. I remember, you telling me that you emailed me, and I just thank you very much. Blah, blah, blah. And, and you felt that I was very dismissive, but truth be told, I get so many, but I also have trouble reading. I have a hard time. I don't know why I'm a doctor, but anyway, I have trouble tracking along a page, so sometimes I miss a lot in that email. But anyway, so before we take calls from listeners, I would like to ask Erik if he has anything to add to, about Jamin, about engaging with life, anything for that matter.
He sure does. First of all, he wants to say, "Mommy, I love you," and he crawls right up in your lap.
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he just so much. Too. And when you were talking about Christmas, my heart has been racing so fast this entire time. As you talk about the family, Jamin, as you've been talking, it's like he's jumping out of my chest, and he's been showing me visuals. So I've been seeing bits and pieces. You talking about your out-of-body experience, and that's pretty cool. And I just said, Erik, that is damn cool. And he's like, right on. And he's just loves you so much. He calls you his brother.
Man, thanks.
He's really heartfelt. This is the meat and potatoes, he said. And exactly what you said, Jamin, he wants to jump onto that and say, everybody wants to know how to raise their vibration. He says, it's not just going to fall in your lap. You have to start somewhere. Everything has meaning. There's beauty in absolutely everything. And he says, Mom, you said it. Everything has meaning, including the hard shit, including the painful stuff. But it's when we choose to engage with it, when we choose to engage with life, when we choose to have awareness with it, to participate, because he says there's two choices. You can either be in the game or out of the game. And if you choose to just float along, you're going to miss all that fucking magic. You're going to absolutely miss it. So he says participate in it. Yeah,
you don't want to hang out in the bleachers. Yeah,
no,
you don't want to hang out in the bleachers. You don't want to be a spectator for life. Yeah,
that's right.
I get it.
And he says, so to have meaning, this takes commitment, consistency, and dedication to living. And that's the choice, living and engaging with life. We're life, and life is all around us, and we're creators. And to be able to create, we must first, he says, understand ourselves and be aware in the moment that we're in. He says it really isn't going to fall in your lap, people. You have to make that choice. And once you start to do that, that's when the momentum starts to pick up, and that's where all the fucking magic happens. So he is like high fives all over you, Jamin. He said that you are incredible at what you do, and he's thanking you and just saying what you're doing, what you're putting out, and what you have done for yourself. And he's pointing out as well that you want to be service to everyone else. Be service to yourself and teach yourself how to engage in life by choosing to be present. Because if you choose to be present, that's where you're going to start to notice things. The moment you jump onto the thought that's ahead, or the moment you jump onto the thought that's behind, you're taking away from being present. So practice that
so
first.
True.
That will help you have more meaning.
Beautiful.
Powerful. Internally grateful
beautiful.
too, Erik. Thank you.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Ma'am. Are you guys ready to take questions from callers?
You bet.
Okay. I love you, baby. I love you so much.
I love you, Mama.
Okay. I got somebody from the 813 area code. Hi there. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hi. What's your first name and where are you calling from?
I'm Jamie from Florida.
Okay. What you got for us, girl?
Hi. I was wondering what my soul contract is.
Ooh. Well, Erik said that's not really just one answer. He says there's more to that. And he says if I gave you one answer, that's going to take away from the experience that you're having and that you're going to have. But he's also pointing to children. He says that you do have a contract with children. I don't know if this is maybe your own children, but there's also other children as well. If you're not already working with children, you should, because he's showing your heart is very, you're a teacher. You also have healing in you as well.
Wow. Perfect combination for children. Do you like kids?
Yeah,
children's the number one thing.
Yeah, I do. And my mom and I, we wanted to do taking care of sick children.
Oh my God, perfect.
Yeah.
Is that good, Erik? Is that good?
Yeah, he says, he's like, bingo.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
But there's more to it. There's more to it because he says, keep in mind that that's like that's what's in your energy field because that's part of your soul. But there's so many experiences and opportunities that will lead you in very fulfilling directions by continuing to follow that feeling that you have in your heart. And he said that you've got some ideas. So you've been talking about some ideas or saying, wouldn't that be awesome? Or I wish we could do that. And he says, so know that those ideas that you're saying that because that's possible. That is what you're able to do. So he said to continue to question and continue to question your heart and to keep following in that direction because there's a lot of fulfillment there for you and for your mom too.
Jamin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, and leading up to everything you're doing in that, remember every moment counts. Every second counts. And like I said, I'm going to go back to engaging with life. When you're setting up to work with these kids and do this type of work, your energy will be twice as strong when you go up to a tree and ask the tree if it can help you with these kids and healing them. And the tree will give you this respect if you give it respect. I really believe that. It's a little different than your average thing, but I think you already know what you're passionate about, and now you got to use life's the things around you as tools to enhance your own abilities.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie, for calling in, and good luck to you. There could be no greater calling than to work with children, and certainly sick children. So, my hat's off to you.
I have one more question, actually.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, Erik has talked to me before.
Okay, I'm glad you said because Erik had something extra to say to you. Yes, he has, and he's also touching your cheeks. So I don't know if you have a really cheek dimple or there's something special about your cheeks because he's like pinching your cheeks and touching your cheek. Yes, he does talk to you. He's been around you, and you have, I don't know if it's you're questioning Erik, did you do that? Or Erik, was that you, or is that just my mind? But you already know that it is him, because he's like, don't count yourself out and say that it's not me, because it is me.
Yeah, I just don't want to think I'm crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we're all a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we're all crazy together.
We're crazy and happy together. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and take another caller. Thank you, Jamie, and good luck.
Thank you.
Bye. You bet.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, now we have somebody. Oopsie, had to click twice. Somebody from the 318 area code. Hi there. How are you?
Hello?
Anybody home? Yay, hi. You hear us?
Oh, my God, I finally got through. Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. What's your first name and where are you calling from?
And I'm calling from Louisiana.
Louisiana, our neighbor. So what you got for our boy?
Okay, Erik, I'm sorry, everybody. Just let me do this really quick because I know y'all got more callers. Probably everybody's probably begging.
No, you're the only. Hey, look, dude, you're the only caller right now. Just remember that.
God.
You are worth that space.
Okay, great. Okay, so first off, Erik, I know you already know my list. I know you've been standing over my shoulder going, is she going to get this right? Is she actually going to ask the right questions, or is she going to forget? So what I really want to ask is I kind of already talked to your mom about Kayla and her suicide and everything that's happened, and I know you do, Erik, because you've been helping me stay strong through this time, and so is my grandmother. So, Erik, I really just want to know, did she commit suicide herself?
Okay, can I get your first name again? Because I just missed that.
Christina.
Christina. Okay, thank you. Okay, do you want to know if Kayla actually did commit suicide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Erik is saying no. No. Was something happened that was accidental, or that
no?
Because there's something else to this, or there's somebody else's part of this. But no. He's not saying that. He's not giving you a complete answer with that. But I'm going to tell you, whenever Erik pulls a little bit in this way, it means that there's more to it, but there may be something that's not meant to unfold in quite this way. But he is confirming that she didn't kill herself.
Oh, my God. I knew it. Okay. Okay, so
Christina, you know your intuition. You know, a mother's intuition for the love of God. It was your daughter, right?
No. This was my fiance's best friend and soulmate.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, that's right.
And we got together a month before this happened, and I stayed strong through the whole relationship. And I couldn't tell Jennifer that I thought that's what happened, because I knew I would lose Jennifer too, because she wanted to kill herself. And it was a really dark time, and I stayed really strong, and I didn't let her know what Spirit was telling me, but I just couldn't stop digging about Kayla, and it didn't feel right, and I felt like there was something else going on, and her parents got to the scene and never called the law for an hour, and they cleaned out her entire car. This girl had everything she owned in her car, and it was all missing before the cops got there, which is tampering with evidence.
Whoa.
There's no news report about it. There's nothing on the internet. They wiped it all clean, and they hired a private investigator, and they won't tell us nothing. And she has a
let me
boy.
Erik, can you get Kayla to come forward, please?
Okay, just give me a second here.
Kayla, right?
Kayla Christine Cabrera.
Yeah.
Is Kayla got blonde hair? May not have been naturally blonde.
Yes. She
And
had red
thin?
hair at her time of passing.
Yes. I kept getting strawberry. She kept throwing in strawberry, like strawberry hair.
Yes.
Okay.
Strawberry blonde, yeah. Okay.
And a thin. I'm getting like a thin. Like I keep seeing thin wrists.
Yes.
I don't know why she's showing her wrists, but like thin. Okay.
Ponytail holder. She always wore a ponytail holder on her wrist.
Yes, on her wrists. Yes. I wasn't sure if they were bracelets, but she keeps showing. Okay, so that's
black
in that.
ponytail holder.
Yes, her identifying herself. So she's giving me something quick that you will catch, that you know it's her. It's her that she's telling me that it's her communicating with you. It's her.
Okay. Wow.
So you're
it's
feeling
validation.
her energy. Yes, and okay. There's a sense of excitement to her voice because it's connecting, that you're connecting it, and she wants you to not discount what you're getting. She's also saying that there's a lot of emotion and that you have a lot of emotion tied up in this, and she says it's okay, and she's telling you to forgive yourself, like don't take this on as your responsibility. Knowing this and understanding this does not mean you're responsible for it. So, like you having this information and feeling like you need to do something with it. Like she's trying to take that from you as there's more that is to
burden.
Play out.
Yeah.
Yes, do not take the burden. That's exactly right. Because she's lifting, she's showing me her hand on your heart and pulling it right from you. She is already with Erik. They've been around you together. And she's saying,
Kayla, what happened? Oh, right. What happened, Kayla? How did you die? Kayla, how did you die? And how are you now?
Was her body found?
Yes, in the car.
Because she's saying that she didn't die in the car.
Okay.
So, like, because she's showing
she was killed and then dragged to the car. Oh,
like
I'm sorry. Go
being
ahead.
Killed outside of the car. Being killed outside of the car and being put in the car. Like she's showing me not losing her life inside the car. And it's something with her chest. She's depressing my chest. Like, just give me a second.
I know, baby, just be quiet. Baby, don't cry, just be quiet. Let me hear what she has to say.
Did they test for drugs in her system or something in her system?
We don't know because her mother and her stepfather cleaned out her entire car and threw away everything before they ever called the police. But she smoked a blunt on her Instagram before this happened, and she was watching the sunset, and I could tell that she was upset in the video, but I did not get the vibe that she was fixing to kill herself. I got the vibe she was about to leave and go try to make better of her life is the vibe I got from that video. And she was saying goodbye in that video as in, I'm leaving y'all, but I'm leaving for my good before I do kill myself because of my depression. That's what I got from her in that video, what I felt her. But
you know what?
They've made it all something else.
You know what? I think, Christina, I want you to, it looks like Michelle has a super strong connection with Kayla. I want you to talk to her through Michelle. I want you to go to Michelle's site and just, find out more. There's a lot of stuff to be said here.
There is a lot of stuff. It is layered.
Before we close, I just want to ask, Kayla, how are you?
And I'll tell you, she answered this a little earlier too, before I was feeling what was going on with her. She is wonderful, and she wants you to know that she is okay, and she is at complete peace. She doesn't want you to feel that what's going on physically right now is affecting her peace. She wants to make sure that you know that.
Does she have anything she wants me to tell her baby boy?
That she's there, that she's not gone somewhere else, that she's right there.
Okay.
But yes,
because
please, this should be an hour session with Michelle. I mean, and Kayla, and perhaps bring Erik in, because I think that that's necessary to heal the family and you. Okay, so I want you to really consider giving that to yourself as a Christmas present, and for Kayla's sake.
How
all right, well, thank you for calling, and we need to go on to the next caller, baby. I'm sorry. I wish I could spend an hour talking about this, because, oh, God, I think it's just so freaking important, you know? God, I just hate to, you know, to go to the next one. Important. All right, we have somebody from the, it's kind of a weird number, 6421, blah, blah, blah. Hi, can you hear us? Hello, anybody there? Anybody home? We're at the 64210. It looks like an international number. Anybody home? Hello, anybody home? Is this you? I'm talking to you. Okay, I guess not. We'll move along. All right, let's see. Let's take somebody from the 561 area code. 561 area code. Hi there, how are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, what's up?
How are you guys? Thank you so much for doing this every Tuesday. You guys are awesome. I want to be quick because I know you. I know, right?
Yeah,
I know.
Really.
I tune in every Tuesday, and I'm hoping to hear you guys. Awesome subjects. And you always ask the best questions, Elisa. I love it.
Oh, you're so sweet.
No, it's true. I love you all. Quick question. I want to know, where am I? And for Erik, I love you, Erik. Still waiting for you to prank me. Where am I in my? Oh gosh. Where am I on my spiritual journey, and what do I need to do to, if anything, or I'm sure something, lots of things.
What's your first name?
What's your first name? Yeah.
Martha from Florida.
Martha. Okay.
Erik says, "Hello, Martha from Florida." That's what he's starting with. Okay. Yes, he is. Okay, let's see what's going on here, Erik. So what he says is that you have a lot of your knowledge intellectually, that he's calling you, you've been gathering. So he said what's happening right now is you are in a phase that is going to be about implementing a lot of the intellectual knowledge into action. So he said this is what we call the connection of the head to the heart. So it's about embodying some of the experiences. He said that this would also be known, some people will call it many small awakenings within the big awakening. So he said that you're going to have some experiences that are going to assist you in becoming more into your heart space. But he says, remember that the heart space isn't so much about, well, it is about the perspective of everything, but it's about the perspective of yourself. And he says, learning to love yourself on new levels has more to do with giving yourself the compassion that you want to offer to others. And he says that's where you're going to find the greatest amount of growth for yourself.
Wow, very deep.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You're gonna have to you can listen to this again later on. Seriously.
That was a mouthful, huh? Yeah. Remember, I'm the one who was creating my meditation space. I created a meditation room.
Yes.
And I don't know, for some reason, I'm so afraid to go in there now.
And he says this is about the compassion. He goes, and so this is it. And he says, so what is it that you have around you that feels like you don't belong there? Because he says you're telling yourself that you don't belong there. You're giving yourself a message that makes you feel, he's saying like unworthy. And it's something that your brain or your mind is telling yourself. And he says this is that whole connection into the heart space is becoming okay with who you are right now. And the space that you've created for yourself is the outside part. He goes, we need to get you into the inside part.
Well, Erik, why does she feel unworthy of going in there? And also, I want Jamin to interject how she should approach this.
Martha.
So, Erik.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, Martha, you go first. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jamin.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry. Martha, I want you to engage with the unknown because what you're probably sensing is your power.
Oh.
I think you hit that on the head. Yep.
That is scary sometimes when you all of a sudden realize how powerful you are. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Thank you,
In other
Jamin.
words,
Thank you.
Girl.
Oh my
You're
God.
welcome, Martha. Go kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric's just adding that you are stepping out of your sailboat and into your speedboat. So he says, put on your seatbelt.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. I really want to get there because I really want to help so many people. And there's so many people that need help. And the faster I get there, the better. But I don't know what my block is. I just want to overcome it so fast.
Martha. Your block
Jamin.
is you. Your block is you. Go fucking remove that shit. You have the energy. You have the healing capabilities. Just go step into it and see what happens, and you'll see the magic. And keep on continuing that faith. And as I'm talking to you right now, I'm imagining a light surrounding you right now. It's surrounding you right now. It's going to be around you, and it's getting brighter and brighter, and it's surrounding around all of us. And it's going to give us more courage, more knowing, more capabilities to be more of who we are. So step into your light.
Amen.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And
That's
of course,
awesome.
there's probably something from the past, people from the past who have, indoctrinated you into thinking that you don't have any power. So screw that. You do.
Is that true, Erik?
Be yourself and own it. Be yourself and own it. This is what for Christina, my daughter on her YouTube channel, Christina Brawley, whatever. Christina Brawley, the YouTube channel, but also ChristinaBrawley.com. Be yourself and own it. Screw everybody else who has told you from the moment you were born that you are not enough. You're not enough. You're not enough. No, you have more power. All of you guys, I'm speaking to all of you guys, have much more power than you can possibly realize. And if you want Erik to step by your side and help you and guide you, my baby boy will, because he can split himself in basically in infinite times and help everybody. And God, I wish I could split myself off to infinite, time so I can get people to clean my ground, do my washing, do my yard work. But no, ain't possible. So, okay, guys, call upon Erik for help. And Martha, you're going to be fine.
Oh, baby,
be
thank
okay
you so
with
much,
being
guys.
powerful.
Oh,
you're doing
That's
awesome.
Oh. Okay, you guys, check out Jamin Olivencia at Jamin Olivencia Olivencia.com, and of course the wonderful Michelle. Michelle, you were spot on, and her it was so scary. 60 seconds. Her site is thehealing-art.com. So, and I will put it on the when I make a YouTube out of this. Okay. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks.
Hope you
Merry
have a happy
Christmas,
New Year.
everybody.
Merry Christmas, guys.
I love
you
you,
all.
Eric. I love you, Jamin. I love you, Michelle.
Love you,
I love you, all my
Mama.
peeps out there.
Love you. Love you all. Mwah, mwah.
Bye.
Bye.